Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. A little bit chilly out there, a little bit windy out there, and it looks like it's a short-lived spat of cold temperatures. So we've got normal, warm temperatures by the weekend already, so get the blankets out and put them out. Right now, we're going to talk about something fun you can do this weekend. So the weather being nice just might work in well with what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about model trains, and the guy we speak to about model trains is in the studio. Bob Chadwick is the coordinator of the Silver Springs Lions Club. By the way, we had our notes wrong earlier. Matthew Wardell will come in later on in the morning, so I just didn't want you to think I somehow made a mistake, which I did. Bob is the Silver Springs, the coordinator for the train show, and of course a former deputy with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and is involved in so many different things in our community through his work with the Silver Springs Lions Club. The train show again is this coming Saturday and Sunday. I'm sorry, both days, and this is over at the National Guard Armory. And Bob will tell you the rest. Come on, Bob, how you doing?
Fine, Larry. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Was it cold out there, or did it get warm already?
Well, being from the north, it's nippy, but
doesn't really matter, right?
It's not cold.
No, we can handle that, right?
When it gets below zero, it's cold.
Although I kind of like it this time of year when it gets cold. I think that's.
Well, it's Christmas time. It's getting into the Christmas season, Thanksgiving, so, a little cold there.
So what do you think is the connection between trains and Christmas? It seems like there is a connection, isn't there?
Yes. Well, the biggest thing was people started with trains when trains started getting popular and coming into the homes and that, and people would set up villages and things just without a Christmas tree, just set up a village and put the trains in it. Then somebody got the idea, well, let's put it up under a tree and put, make a village in that under the Christmas tree and make a Christmas village. And then from that, it just kind of spurred on. People, like I said, trains are synonymous with Christmas.
Yeah. It seems like when you're looking at a model train set that has a lot of thought in it. In other words, it's not just a track and a train, but there's mountains, there's little cars, little people, little shops. There's something calming about it, something maybe even therapeutic. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've read articles where, people doctors had people come in, their blood pressure was way up, they were all nervous and everything. And as he went on with it, the doctor went on with, checking the patient out and everything. They started talking and found out that they both had an interest in trains. Mm-hmm. And the doctor noticed the patient's whole attitude just kind of calmed down. So he checked the blood pressure again, and it had dropped way down.
Wow, just talking about it.
So, I mean, it's a thing. It is a therapy because you get out there and you get your mind going. You get your artistic ability. You look at it and you say, well, gee, I got to loop a track around and a train going around. Right, That's cool, but let's do something else with it. Let's put a town. Let's put a building. Let's put some automobiles, some people, some signs, and things like that. And it's creativity. You do whatever you want. And like I tell people, they ask me, can I do this on a layout? Look, it's your layout. It's your railroad. You do what you want. If it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah.
If other people don't like it, buy your own train set and do your own thing. Because that's what it is.
That's right. So, how dependable are model trains? And what I mean by that, and maybe I mean it across the board, or maybe I mean today compared to years ago. But if I'm not into trains right now, and I just do it blindly without getting some advice from somebody like yourself, I might buy, I don't know, there might be a brand that is notorious for breaking down. Maybe it's a cheaper brand. But I mean, how dependable are the trains themselves as far as working?
Relatively speaking, the moderate price trains, the inexpensive ones, and the moderate price are pretty good. When you get to some of your high-tech ones, and I'm talking $2,400 for an engine.
Wow.
With electronics in it.
Wow.
All it takes is one little minor glitch, and after dropping $2,400 for an engine and maybe waiting 3-4 weeks to get it, and you put it on the track and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles and everything that you wanted, it's very depressing. Then you have to ship it back to back to the manufacturer, wait till they get it fixed, and then send it back to you. So, when you got a $24,000 baby in your hand and then you have to send it away for 4 weeks to get repaired because it doesn't work
That's
right,
crazy.
and then you get it back, it's,
24,000 or 2,400?
2,400.
2,400. Okay. Well, that is So the advice that it sounds like you're telling us is that if we're going to get into it, more expensive is not always better.
That's correct, because with the modern technology is great to a degree, but with the modern engines that they have right now, with all this electronics,
Right.
when they go bad, the odds are you're not going to get them fixed without spending a lot of money. I could take an engine from 1949, tear it apart, put new gears in it, put new brushes in it, clean it up, lube it up, put some oil on it, and guarantee 99 and 9/10% of the time it's going to run.
It's going to work, and it's going to be dependable once it's all put together, right?
I mean, you won't see an engine built today, 50 years from now, probably still running because of the electronics.
Oh, really? Wow, that's kind of sad, isn't it?
That's my prediction.
So
on it,
do you have a layout set up right now at home?
I'm in the process of last 2 years. I built a platform. I got tracked down. I have a loop running. I just ran into a few snags that just delayed me from getting into it. It's a type of thing. If you're into it, you get into it and you stay. I kind of fell back out of it a little bit.
Right,
Not that I
right.
totally lost interest in the trains, but just needing that proverbial kick in the butt to get going back on it again.
So why is it water always fake? Why don't they have real water? Why couldn't you have like a train going over a little pond and have some little guppies in it or
They
something?
do.
Oh, they do?
There are layouts. Roadside America in Charlottesville, Pennsylvania, has actual running water. But what you have to be careful with is because the tracks
Right.
conduct electricity.
Right,
So
right,
therefore, you're short your
You gotta be careful.
yeah.
Yeah. But I guess I've never seen one. It looks nice. Actually, to be honest with you, the artificial water, even the waterfalls, which it looks like is falling, that is very cool.
Well, with the materials that they have, you can do a lot of things with it. And again, it's your imagination.
Yeah.
If you want a waterfall with a lot of foam or something, you're going to play around with things. You're going to experiment, and that's where a lot of these new products come from. Is somebody gets a bright idea, let's try this, and
Yeah,
it works,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it looks good, and people like it. So therefore, they go ahead and produce it. As most of the stuff, a lot of it, your train stuff comes from people's ideas.
So this weekend is the train show. How many vendors will be there?
I don't have an exact count on the vendors, but we have approximately 70 tables.
70.
So-
Okay. And who will normally be at the tables? People selling trains or demonstrating trains? Or?
No, these will be people that have items related to trains, either trains or maybe scenery or accessories or even die-cast cars,
Are they
planes, and things like that.
Are they buying them and then reselling them, or are they making them? Where do they get them?
No,
from?
these are items that they, some people, guys go out and buy collections up, and they'll take out what they buy, things that they want for their collection or so, and then the rest of it they bring to train shows and sell it off. And what they, some make a living. This is a second income for some of them, and some of them they're really into it, high class collectors.
Right.
By selling off the items that they don't have an interest in, they use that money then to go after something that they're looking for. So in other words, if they see an item, they know there's an item that's going to be $500, $600, $700 for an item from 1925 or something like that, they generate the money from the items they sell. So.
And people have a lot of tips that they can give other people also, like if you have sparks on the track or things like that. I've seen that on my brother's layout, and that way you can fix that.
Right. Most of the dealers are into trains themselves. There's a few that just they buy and sell, but they really don't know much about them. It's just a business, buy, sell, and that's it.
Right.
But if you have a question about a problem or something like that, if they don't know, they'll find somebody, or they'll tell you, go see so and so at such and such a table or whatever, and in my train club, we get a lot of people sent over to us. They come in and ask us how to, they have problems. Can it be fixed, or can we fix them, or whatever?
Right. All right, the train show is this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, at the National Guard Armory, which is at 900 Southwest 20th Street here in Ocala. The admission to the train show is $4 per person, and Bob Chadwick is here to talk about it. He's the coordinator of the Silver Springs Lions Club train show. Good morning. You're on the air with Bob.
Yeah, good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Looking forward to the show again this year. It's always fun to go and take the kid along, and we spend an hour or two there and have a hot dog and just enjoy ourselves. I was going to ask, do you know how popular is model railroading over in Europe?
It's very popular. Matter of fact, they have a lot of what they call live steam in Europe, especially in England. They'll have O-gauge steam engines outside, and they'll run for half mile.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Just run around, and trains are popular throughout the world.
Was Lionel the original maker of model trains?
They were one of them. They're the most popular one known. Off the top of my head, I don't recall anyone particular brand or company that was making it, but there were pull trains and die-cast ones being made at that time. But Lionel's the one, I think, that really was the pinnacle to get it, a family-type thing and get their name out there.
Now, it's an American company, and it still is, right?
Correct.
And nothing from China.
Well, no, it's an American company, but the product since, I think back in the late 70s, early 80s, they stopped producing in Michigan, Mount Clemens, Michigan, and went overseas. So all of the products now are made in China.
Ah, okay.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
What about American Flyer now? Is that still existing, or what happened there?
American Flyer was bought out in 1966 by Lionel.
Oh.
Just before they sold out the rights to MPC, General Mills.
Yeah.
So they are still, if you get a hold of one of their new catalogs, they have about 8-10 pages dedicated to the S-gauge American Flyer.
Oh.
So they're still making it.
Lionel was first before American Flyer, though, right?
What's the brand name? American Flyer?
American Flyer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's A.C. Gilbert. It started out as American Flyer, and then A.C. Gilbert bought them out, and it was A.C. Gilbert American Flyer. They started a little bit before. I got a trivia question. What ties Eveready batteries? What tie does Eveready batteries have to Lionel?
Boy, I don't know. I have no idea.
Back in the early 1900s, Joshua Cohen Lionel made battery-powered lamps.
Oh.
And they were used mostly in restaurants, high-class restaurants and that, on the tables instead of candles. To prevent, because of fires and that.
Huh.
And he had a salesman, and his name I slips in my mind, but the gentleman would go out throughout the country and sell these lamps, and they were battery powered. Well, Joshua Cohen Lionel was so enthralled with trying to get the train business off the ground that he said to his salesman one day, he says, "You know what, I want to get out of this business as far as these lights and that, buy me out." And he did. And when he bought him out, he became Eveready Batteries.
Huh.
Oh my gosh!
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I'd say, like in the past, if you bring a can of food and food goods, I guess you get $1 off the admission price, right?
That's correct. Either canned food or non-perishable item.
Perishable, yeah. Very, very good idea. I know it's helping people out right now this time of year. There's a lot of need for that, especially with the economy, with the way it's spent. So looking forward to the program this weekend. I'm going to probably go Saturday and Sunday, so we'll see you there.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank
We're
you.
looking for you.
Thank you.
I like how some of the colleges put their logos on the trains. I know I had gotten my brother a train one year, and it was from the University of Florida, and they had like 5 different cars to it. So some of the businesses do jump on the bandwagon for that, like the Harry Potter train, too.
Well, yeah, they sometimes Lionel and some of the other manufacturers, Mike's Train House and K-Line, before they went out of business, would go after these companies and see if they could get permission to put their names on.
Oh, wow.
See, actually, in all actuality, all of the railroad names, the companies, the train companies, have to get permission to put their names on the model railroads.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you have another phone call? Good morning. You're on there with Bob Chadwick.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
I enjoy your train show every year, and one of the other brands of model trains or toy trains, whatever you want to call it, was Ives, and they were in that. They came out with that 00 scale first. There was a large scale electric trains, and but they were very expensive as opposed to the Lionel, and I think that's what basically did them in. But Ives manufactured train set was supposedly the last, the nth degree of trains that you would could purchase at that time. Although you had Markland in this country and another one that begins with a B, I forget that.
B.
But anyway, it's very interesting, and look forward to your show. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
And it is this weekend, both days. And what is the time again?
On Saturday from 9 to 4, and on Sunday from 10 to 2.
Okay. What is the Pullman car? Everybody always refers to the Pullman car. What is that, just where the passengers sit?
Well, that's primarily where the passengers sit, but Pullman is the name of the company that made the car.
And
Pullman company made the coaches. They made the passenger.
for all the trains?
No, not all,
Oh,
but they
okay.
were one of the first ones and one of the most popular ones.
Oh, okay.
And they made the coaches that people sit in, the sleeper cars and that. And some of them, they put their name on the side of it, Pullman. And that just became synonymous with, all the cars, even though it was, it might have been built by Bud Company or something
Right,
like that.
right,
They
right.
were called Pullman.
So what are the controls? I mean,
Just like refrigerator.
right, we call it
Oh,
Frigidaire.
go to the Frigidaire.
Right, right,
Okay.
right. Okay, got
it's
it.
made by Westinghouse, but people say go to the Frigidaire because
Probably
it's,
so, yeah. Well, and I should know this because I have seen some train sets, but maybe because I haven't seen it in a long time, or maybe they've changed. The controls that you use to actually control the train, is it just a matter of going fast and slow, or are there other things on the controls?
well, the primary transformer. There's 2 types. You have AC and DC. Your HO trains and N gauge and Z gauge and that, and your G gauge
Uh-huh.
are primarily DC, direct current. So when you plug in a DC transformer, you're taking 120 volts DC, stepping and changing it from DC or from AC to DC power.
Right.
Okay, and you're also stepping down from 120 volts down to a lower voltage.
Now, is
usually
that so
about
you don't
20.
get shocked when you touch it?
Well, no, that's
accidentally?
because you can't. You put 120 volts in one of these train engines, they'll go through the wall.
Okay.
And in smoke as they're going through.
Right.
With an AC transformer, that is basically it's a step down transformer. It's dealing with AC coming into it, but it steps it down from 120 volts to approximately 24 volt output.
Okay.
Maximum output. Yes, it controls the speed. They have controls in there for the bells, whistles, horns, reversing.
Or was it all in one box? Is that how that works?
It's in one container, yeah. And then they have now with they have the remote ones, which you can put a control unit, and it goes from the plug in the wall to the transformer to this control unit. And then you can, with a remote, just like you'd work a TV, you can change switches, you can stop one engine, start another engine.
Oh, that's cool. So you can switch tracks like in a real railroad.
Oh yeah, you can switch tracks. You can make cars automatic dump cars for log dumps or
wow.
coal dumps, things like that. Make accessories work.
This is a guy thing, isn't it? There's no women buying trains, are there?
No, there's women out there.
We're
that
playing
are
with
into it
toys.
too.
We're still playing with toys, Robin.
That's true. But
Robin's witnessing two grown men here acting like little boys, right?
And that's a good thing. Because of the stigma of the cigarette smoking and everything, do they still manufacture steam engines? Because I know my brother has a set from 1959, and you put those little pills in there, and then smoke comes out of the engine. Do they still manufacture those?
Oh yeah, definitely. Matter of fact, the $2,400 engines I was talking about earlier in the show was their steam engines. Those are Challengers and that big steam engines. I'm talking maybe 2.5 foot, 3 foot long, and
Wow.
they smoke and.
Wow.
Bells,
Huge.
whistles, and all kinds of stuff. With the electronics, it's fantastic. I mean, the whistles that they have are actual whistles that they've digitally recorded.
Wow. Oh,
So
that's
when
cool.
you hear it, like, you hear in the old movies,
Sounds
that
real.
the wailing train whistle off in
Right.
the distance,
Right.
they can reproduce that, and it sounds just like it's.
And what is that effect of the Doppler effect that you hear? You know, when a train is going by, it has that,
Yeah.
that effect. Does it simulate that?
Yeah, well, they can simulate it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you gone? This is directly connected with the train show, but have you gone to some of these train things? Like, what's that one we did was it Tavares?
Yes, to vary.
Cannonball Express?
Yep.
Was that it? Have you ever
Yep.
done any of these?
I haven't been down to
Around
that
Mount Dora.
particular one yet. I've been to Mount Dora when they had Thomas the Tank Engine there, and I was there a couple of times when they had the train ride before they got the engine and the setup they have now, where they would have the
I had a dinner theater there
what
for
they
a while,
call it.
right? Or a dinner or something?
yeah, they have a dinner train, and they have a Polar Express starting up at Christmas time, probably after Thanksgiving.
Is
they'll
that the
start
same one, the Cannonball, whatever it's called?
Well, it'll
Yeah.
probably be the Cannonball, but they'll just dress it up a little differently and do that. I haven't been down there. I've seen it. I was down past there and saw the engine and the cars and that, but I haven't been on that one yet.
And there's one in Williston, right?
I think so, yeah.
There's something in Williston.
Yeah,
The
I
biggest
have no clue
prob-
the name of it.
The biggest problem with the steam is the insurance, the boilers on those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're so afraid that if the boilers have to be strictly maintained
Right.
because of the pressure that's on them, and the biggest fear the insurance companies have is, God forbid, one of them boilers blow up.
Really?
I mean,
we
besides,
interviewed.
it's going to take out a big area, so anybody in that immediate area.
But it's cool to see, isn't it? We interviewed the young man who was the conductor, or whatever you call it, the guy who drove the train down in Tavares, up in
Engineer.
Tavares, whatever.
Great guy.
But he's also the engineer for the Disney trains. Apparently, there's only like a handful of them. If you go to Disney and you're riding a train, there's only like five. What he said, 5 engineers or conductors or whatever it is.
Right.
Engineer would be an engineer, and yeah, you have to be certified. You have to go through courses and that, and be certified to run. And there's women doing that. There's women running the diesels, and they're running steam.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, you always get us interested in trains, Bob. Let's see. So this weekend, and again, it is at the National Guard Armory. The address, if you're using your GPS or you just know address as well, 900 Southwest 20th Street. The way I tell you how to get there is if you're on Pine, you cross that bridge on 17th.
Correct.
And it's the new bridge. It goes over the railroad tracks, as a matter of
Right.
fact. And then the first left after the
If
bridge.
you're going over the bridge, it's the first left.
If you're coming the other way.
At the traffic light. If you're going towards the bridge, it's a traffic light just before the bridge.
Just before the
You
bridge.
turn right. One
Okay.
you turn left, one you turn right.
Now, can a person bring their own train? Let's say I have a question, how much it's worth. Is that a...
Well, we have people come in with bringing
Really?
a box of trains that they've had since they were a little kid, and they want to find out, what it's worth.
Right.
Some people want to know for insurance purposes. Some people want to get it fixed. They want to know, if somebody.
That's got to be a skill like a watchmaker. That's got to be tiny, tiny little things in there, huh?
It can be nerve-wracking at times, but I mean, it is like we said before. It is therapeutic. It's aggravating when you're been working on trying to get a small little screw into a particular hole and get it tightened down for 20 minutes because it's so small.
Yeah, right.
But when the thing is, when you get it done, it's like, wow, it's done.
There you go. Yeah.
And then you put it on the track or you put power to it on a test and it runs.
Bob, it must be near Christmas if you're coming in to talk about the train show. The Silver Springs Lions Club train show, again, this coming weekend, both the 16th and 17th at the National Guard Armory. And it's only $4 a person. And as Hugh pointed out, you bring in a canned or a non-perishable food item. And what's the deal?
If you bring in a non-perishable food item, it'll be $1 off.
$1 off. Okay, can't beat that. Bring the kids. The kids love trains.
They love
Boys and girls love trains, right? Bob, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Larry.
We'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs, where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4.